Welcome back to Soma Spider. So what? Anime review episode number 7. This reviewing the last 5 episodes of the anime. Yep. Yeah, episode 20 to 24. Yes. Now, one thing I've got to point out about these episodes before I talk about what happens in these episodes, 20 animation is pretty good. But for the last 4 episodes of the series, I'm like, what happened here? Why is there CGI? Yes, for some reason, apparently, like, the last few episodes looked a bit rushed, where apparently they didn't have time to finish these episodes up, so basically, let's make it where like half the characters are in CGI. I get people in the monsters, but don't people like Ariel, Shion, like a lot of the characters basically in CGI. What the heck? Why in the world these characters CGI? As far as I can tell, there's no reason for this at all, but they are. Now, in the case of two stories, they're kind of loosely connected to each other. In the case of this one, let's first talk about the human stuff. This one does get a lot of advancement. Surprisingly, the one episode of this 5 actually focused a lot on the humans. It's episode 23. The spider does not show up in 23 except for, well, you do get a chance to hear Brina Kabaka once voice her character in present day, White. We actually see her lips move because a lot of the time we hear her speak, usually it's almost like in her head, but yet everyone else can hear her. So, pretty much this one we have the big epic battle we've been building up. Or protect the elves for reasons. And by the way, this story does not get finished by the 100th episode. Nope, it just stops. But at least they wrap up the spider story up pretty nicely. Yeah, that got a pretty decent conclusion, but not the human one for some reason. I thought that was kind of weird. So, they begin to fight, and they fight, well, you have Hugo and his forces show up, and you have first fight Miss Okina, and then of course Sion shows up in his battle armor. I'm like, where the heck get the helmet from? That's basically never... I get maybe that Hugo guy's his. It was probably given to him from his kingdom. Okay. And you have him and, of course, Mizoka fight briefly. And then, of course, Xian shows up. It's a pretty good battle. And Xian actually wins until, like, oh, let's have it where Xian is attacked by Sophia, who at this point they reveal, yeah, she's reincarnation. Which, if you watch the Spider stuff here of these episodes, yeah, the viewer already knew that. Xion did not know that Sophia was a reincarnation of someone they once knew. And, of course, he's a vampire. By the way, there's actually a demon shows up in episode here too. He's also reincarnation as well. He shows up he's like pretty much in like the last the last episode of the stuff. So they fight them for quite a while, and of course they think, oh, this guy here is like the 4th Division commander. Nope, it turns out this actually is him, but it isn't. It's a protection. And have two of the newest students basically fight him and easily beat him pretty easily. Then, of course, like... By the way, we actually have some POV shots here. I'm like, okay, I thought this was interesting. Like, first see Hugo when he wakes up. You actually see him, from his point of view, his reaction to being stabbed by Sophia, who actually stabs in the back. Oh, yeah, and it's revealed that he's actually been a puppet. He was being manipulated along. Yes. Which, excuse me, the reason why that he's doing this is because it's revealed that the administrators are the true bad guys of the series. Yep, not Hugo, not Sophia, the administrators. They're the villains of the series. For reasons. And also, this is a bit odd, basically reverse of how they play heroes and villains this one. So... And of course, you have the half-elf. At one point, you have Faye trying to get respect. Like, oh yeah, they're basically told not to kill incarnations, but that doesn't fall to the half-elf, which of course, Xion does protect her, and of course, he does heal her, and unlocks Taboo, and apparently that was a whole bunch of information, which everyone thinks that Sophia is responsible. She has no idea what the heck is going on. And then all of a sudden, the elves show up. Yeah, it turns out the elves are not to be trusted because apparently they're loaded with modern day technology. Now you're thinking, elves, live in the forest, who've got bows and arrows. Apparently, they have access to robots and a version of freaking tanks. I'm like, what the heck? What is this? Yeah, they just pop up out of nowhere. And yeah, we do see briefly episode 23. Finally get a chance to see Brandon Parker in the present day stuff. The voicing kind of the same characters, White. Yeah, this is simply put evolving of the Spider character she was playing. Yeah, it's interesting though. We finally get a chance to speak. Also, typical stuff for Japanese animation. A woman walks out with her eyes closed. I'm like, can you see? Can you see me what I'm doing? Hey, what's this? Typical stuff. Like, how the heck can these people freaking see with their eyes closed? Well, it could be because she's got evil eye. That's possible. But she doesn't really need to look at people in order to actually use the damn thing. I mean, that's basically probably the reason for it. Oh, yes, and it's revealed that she's the one who was responsible for killing Julius. Yeah, the popular hero of the series actually kills the character's brother. Oh, this is in present day. This is in the future stuff. Yep, and the thing abruptly ends basically after Shion gets downloaded all this stuff, and supposedly like more elves, a lot of these elves get killed off in this episode. And I'm like, how many elves are in this village? It seems like, based on the size of the village, it looks like maybe like a few thousand. It seems like there's millions here because there's like killed like 10, 20 a minute. And I'm like, more elves, more elves. I'm like, okay. Like, oh, let's have him fight the demons because he's the hero. Okay. Yeah, this story gets abruptly cut off by the final episode for no reason at all. As in the case of Spider stuff, she just basically just hangs out, eats some food, and inadvertently starts a war with the country known as the Kingdom of Oats, who apparently was begging to do it. They were anticipating, oh, they killed our official, our diplomat. We declare war on you. Yep. And she inadvertently caused some damage, and of course, Sophia, who is maybe at this point, is attacked by the elves. Why in the world are the elves attacking her? Also, it's revealed a little more in detail what happened with the reincarnations. A lot of them were kidnapped against their will. Now, as for why in the world the elves don't trust humans, never explained. Or why the heck they're evil. Yes. This is probably a reversal for a lot of the time elves depict in fiction. What's usually the common thing with elves? You just pick as allies, and usually female ones, usually like love interests for the main character. These ones are just pure evil. Because they feel like, oh, we gotta protect the elves from the demons. Okay. Yep, and then of course, after avoiding, like, arcane magic from the Demon Lord, who, by the way, she's being converted to be a good person, thanks to having body brain eat part of her soul. And then we have her finally evolving into a human-like spider, similar to, I think it's called Arachnine. I think that's how you pronounce it. This one looks like a half-human, half-spider. Where they credit it as like a cameo online. But no, she actually is like this for the last the last 2 episodes of the series. Oh, and I at least gotta appreciate this. Well, they do, in fact, show her topless briefly for like a couple seconds. And if you're thinking, do they show her nipples? Nope. They do not show her nipples at all. It's like very quick. And then later on, she basically used her silk to create a shirt for herself, which, not a bad idea to do. She's a beautiful woman. She's topless. By the way, when Sophia sees her, she thinks it's Harrow, her old her old classmate from the class who was killed prior to events of the series. Though, from what I read, it's not explained later why the explosion happened in the first place. Yep, and then she ends battling the elf we see present day. And you're probably thinking, how the heck does it look exactly the same in present day? Well, the whole thing with this guy being a robot, it turns out this is not actually him. Because the actual elf is off in a secret location. And apparently, these guys have access, like, okay, like apparently the elves get access to not only modern technology but even future technology. Like apparently a version of virtual reality where it allows to control a robot from a long distance away. I'm like, okay. And yes, I read the book, so I kind of know basically what's going on here. So after defeating the evil elf, Arrow's like, "Why don't you just come with me? We'll just become friends at fighting each other." Because basically, like, well, why not? And of course, Sophia. By the way, Sophia actually converts her. I would say look like her bodyguard, who sounds like he's voiced by Kyle Herbert, based on the voice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, based on the voice, it sounds like it is Kyle Herbert. Let me take a look here. Yeah, it sounds like it's him because I know he's one of the division commanders for. Let's see. Mephistopheles, the 4th Division Commander. Yeah, he sounds a lot like Kyle Herbert. Let's see if I can find because it sounds like this guy is voiced by Kyle Herbert. I want to be sure about this. Ariel, I know, is voiced by um, uh, Veronica Taylor. Mm-hmm. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, for some reason I'm not able to find out who actually is the voice's character. Yeah, it's like they don't really list it, but it sounds like Kyle Herbert. Yes, it sounds like Kyle Herbert. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, they don't list off his English dub actor for some reason. Even though by his voice, it sounds like Kyle Herbert. Yeah, it could be him, I'm not sure. But yeah, they wrap it up basically with here we have Ariel form her demon brigade that you see her in the present day stuff. Mm-hmm. Kind of see like a loose formation of it. But yeah, really good stuff here. Love this series. Brandon Knickerbocker herself does a great job with this series. And that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Next one is going to be the final thoughts on the series for now. Okay, next video. Bye.